everything pop culture. And today we are going to be doing our watch party and review for none other than the season finale of The Last of Us. I am so hyped, I am so pumped, and I am so ready to check out the end of this amazing show. I've been enjoying this show so much. I'm not even going to be able to pretend with you. I can't lie to you. I can't front. This show has been really, really good every single week. They've been doing the damn thing, and I can't believe it, yo. You know what I mean? Like, I literally cannot believe it. They've been doing their damn thing every single week, and I think that today we're gonna have a really good bookend to this season. Like I'm, I don't know what is. I don't even know what to expect today, just because this entire season has been very unexpected for me, from Joel's death to seeing this flashback episode that we had last week, and now I have no idea what we're going to be in for on the finale today. But nonetheless, I am so excited to check it out, and I hope you guys are too. Make sure you let me know all your thoughts, theories, and questions in the comment section down below, because I'm hoping that we can get things click, clap, popping, and clopping, okay? Your boy been sick over the weekend. I'm just now getting over my sickness. I was real sick over the weekend, starting on Friday, going into yesterday, and then today I've been today's the first day that I felt a little bit better, but still not the best. So I'm hoping that I can get better soon. And I'm hoping everybody out there is having a good time and are ready to check out the finale today, because I know it's going to be a good one. We got about, T-minus 26 minutes until the new episode is going to be dropping. So I hope you guys are hyped for that. Again, let me know all of your thoughts, theories, and questions in the comment section down below. And we're going to check out this new Rockstars video breaking down last week's episode to get ready for today's episode.
And I love how this episode restructures flashback moments from the game into one arc that traces Joel going from proud papa to depressed daddy as he tries to do a little bit better than Lalo Salamanca. I'm going to explain the changes from the game in this episode and go through scene by scene to break down all the details you missed. And please head on over to nerdriot.shop, where we have some great The Last of Us inspired designs, like Ellie's tattoo, this shirt. I love it. Grabbing one of these is the best way to support us here at New Rockstars. We open the episode in Austin, Texas, 1983. Young Joel is played by Andrew Diaz. Young Tommy is played by David Miranda. Joel says,
"It'll be fine."
Joel wears the same kind of plaid shirt he'll wear as an adult, and he shows the same protective instincts that he's gonna have throughout his life. Tommy had been buying weed and got into a fist fight and got arrested, which will surely make it back to their cop father, and Tommy worries he's gonna get the belt from their dad. And Joel says, no,
they were terrified
I will, just like he's gonna be
too.
okay being beaten to death for saving Ellie. Tommy wears this Van Halen shirt from their 1982 tour with a sick lion and sunglasses, as this was called the Hide Your Sheep tour. Now, this is the 80s, so I don't know if it counts, but according to Tess's code with Bill and Frank, 80s music means trouble ahead. And the production was able to secure the same powder blue Austin area police cruiser from the late 70s and 80s. I mean, you kind of have to get Austin production design right, because the Keep Austin Weird movement loves to think that they've frozen the city in the Dazed and Confused era, and they will call bullshit when something ain't authentic. Tony Dalton, one of my favorite actors right now, who played the terrifying Lalo Salamanca in Better Call Saul and was given lesser material to work with in the MCU as Jack Duquesne swordsman and Hawkeye and Daredevil Born Again, here plays Joel and Tommy's father. His name tag just reads,
I didn't even realize that.
So it could be Joel Sr., maybe Jimmy, maybe Joseph, we don't know. Just like Joel lies to protect Ellie, here he lies to protect Tommy, telling his dad that he was the one buying the drugs and Tommy ended the fight. But Joel has never been good at lying, largely because he has a violent side that causes his reputation to speak for itself. Tony Dalton is one of the best examples of just great casting on this series, because as a law enforcement officer in Texas, with Tommy so afraid of getting beaten, we just see him initially and think of Lalo Salamanca, that this is going to be a stereotypical alcoholic, abusive father. But then man, the way this scene unfolds just surprises us with the nuance of this character's humanity. He shares beers with Joel, and he tells Joel about how when he was 10, he stole a candy bar and his dad made him give it back and apologized to the cashier, and then his dad punched him so hard he broke his son's jaw. And that even deeper than this violent abuse, what lingers even into his adulthood, that probably even motivated him becoming a law enforcement officer, is the shame of having to have his mouth wired shut for 2 months and everyone knowing why.
Crazy.
Joel's dad says,
"Okay, yeah, I've hit you, and I've hit Tommy, but never like that. Not even close. I mean, maybe I go too far. I don't know."
Whoa. So this right here is some real shit. It's a kind of surprising, nuanced conversation that a lot of men start to have with their dads when they're older teenagers. Their dads start talking to them like adults, and you find out that your dad doesn't always have all the answers.
Here are 3 reasons why you should use Codecademy to learn how to code. Number 1 is their course catalog. They have a ton of courses from beginner to advanced in 12 different languages, and you can
There has been an evolving discussion in this country that few films and shows have been brave enough to take on. The question of child abuse versus discipline, where that line is, the difference between how our parents were raised and how we want to raise our kids, and whether doing a little bit better than our parents did is really enough to not be considered abusive, and how much we should judge our parents if in their minds they were just following the flow of traffic on this kind of thing and just trying to be a little more ahead of that curve, and our anxiety that things that we experienced when we were kids and things that we're putting through our kids now will be considered abusive 20 or 30 years from now. Yeah, it's a messy, complicated topic, and it's a space where The Last of Us has always lived. And I appreciate it compared to the moralizing a lot of modern titles do to prescriptively preach today's ethical standards to all past generations when it comes to child rearing. It's not that all fathers and grandfathers were callously cruel. I mean, some were, but a lot of them thought that they were doing better than what they got. And for better or worse, there is no denying that that left the modern generations to inherit a history of violence and generational trauma that we don't really know what to do with. So I appreciate the inclusion of the dad saying, "Not even close," then pause. I mean, maybe I go too far. I don't know. Because that part of it is crucial. It shows that Joel's dad doesn't know where the line is himself, and even questioning whether a little better still isn't enough. He's realizing that for Tommy to be this scared of the belt, and for Joel to feel like he has to protect Tommy from their dad like this, that the shame that he felt is probably also being felt by Tommy and Joel. And so this dad gets emotional and says,
"But I'm doing a little better than my father did. And you know, when it's your turn, I hope you do a little better than me."
it's his way of saying, I'm too sinful to make it out of the desert into the promised land. And I don't know what's going to be considered sinful in the future, but maybe you'll figure it out. And he places a gentle hand on Joel's shoulder, and we see the watch. The same watch Joel will wear after Sarah fixes it up for him as a birthday present. In the pilot episode, she said this is one that she fixed.
Fixed it for you, and you were never going to do it for yourself. So.
When Sarah dies, this will become the iconic broken watch that Joel will never take off, visible even in the moment of his death, and the watch that means so much to Tommy in episode 3, and the added moment in the show, the wait in the Jackson morgue. For Tommy, seeing that watch likely also reminded him of their father and the complicated feelings that he probably carries. And I have a feeling that next episode, we're gonna see how that father's influence also was inherited by Tommy. This series began on Outbreak Day, Joel's birthday, and this watch was Sarah's birthday present for him. And this episode extends that birthday tradition through Ellie's birthdays as Joel tries to make each of them perfect for her. And this episode kind of captures a snapshot of each of these birthdays, kind of like age markings on a wall, as we can see the changing relationship over time. The opening title puts Pedro Pascal back in the opening slide beside Bella Ramsey, and in the shot of the fungal stalks, the taller stalk is now back beside the Ellie stalk, as this will be a flashback episode that really completes the picture of Joel and Ellie's relationship. This episode was written by Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross and Craig Mazin. Druckmann and Gross already wrote much of the dialogue and narrative for The Last of Us Part 2 game, and since this episode largely just adapts a lot of that dialogue A to A, it makes sense that they would both be credited here. Neil Druckmann himself directs this episode. So we're now back just 2 months after Joel and Ellie arrived in Jackson in season 1, and Jackson's Tipsy Bison bar, where Seth is a bartender. The Tipsy Bison is the name of the Jackson bar in the game, and you can actually see the sign for the bar to the right in this shot. While there are signs for other booze brands still up, the actual bottles on the shelves have handwritten labels, as these would be scavenged liquors, maybe some homebrewed moonshine. But later on New Year's Eve, Tommy and Joel drink a bottle labeled whiskey, stocked since 2022. So they've gathered some good ones here. Joel trades a bag of Lego bricks that he found in a house by Hoback, one that Seth said that he also searched, but Joel knows where to look because, you know, when you play as Joel or Ellie or whoever in the game, you always look through every freaking drawer. Seth reveals that he was a cop with the Milwaukee PD before the outbreak, and Joel takes note of this as the son of a cop with complicated feelings toward a cop father. And we're gonna see how that affects something later on this episode. The trade is for a birthday cake for for Ellie. And remember, in the pilot episode, Joel forgot to pick up a cake for his own birthday, which disappointed Sarah, and he promised to get her one the next day.
Where's the cake?
Damn. That's hella sad. I think they've been doing an amazing job with this
Come on,
show.
man.
I'll get us one tomorrow.
Which is an important
Come on,
detail since we
man.
know the cordyceps spread through flour. If Joel had remembered to pick up the cake, they would have been infected. But this also tells us why Joel cannot wait for Seth to finish the cake for Friday. It has to be on the right day because Ellie's 15th birthday is a first father-daughter birthday he's going to get to celebrate since losing Sarah. Joel checks Ellie's bedroom to make sure she's gone. The song we hear is Haven by Gustavo Santaolalla. Ellie has this photo of a young Kurt Cobain on her door. Over her bed, you can see the Savage Starlight poster that we talked about in season 2, episode 1. Joel got from Seth a bone. Looks like a femur, but I assume it's from a cow, not a human, since Seth works in the kitchens and, you know, we're not talking about like what David puts on the menu. And he shaves down this bone, a process that must have taken hours just to carve the tiny bone piece for the guitar. Because a detail that precise is important for someone who's going to spend a lot of time on a guitar. Your skin rubs against that part as you strum, and he knows that part of Ellie's arm is also where she was bitten. And today is the day he'll also learn that's where she was burned. And in a couple of years, next year, she's gonna have the tattoo there. So it's so important that he spends so much time on this piece of bone because it's a sensitive part of Ellie's arm and he wants to make sure that's not gonna get chafed. We see a close-up on his watch as he carves Ellie's favorite image to draw, the moth, into the arm of the guitar. But in 2 years, he's gonna be initially upset when Kat uses a needle to etch this image onto Ellie's actual arm. Tommy brings in Ellie, who burnt her arm while on KP duty, that's kitchen patrol, after she put her arm against a hot pot. In the game, it's a chemical burn, but they changed it here, and I'll talk about that in a second. We see Ellie's mom's switchblade jammed into the nightstand. Also, this shot with a flowing window curtain in the background is reminiscent of the game loading screens. We see the Aha cassette tape, which is probably how Ellie learns to play Take On Me. The next morning, Ellie wakes up to find Joel annoyed over Seth misspelling Ellie's name as Eli. In the same shot of Joel going to get a knife, he turns back to see Ellie immediately nom-nom-nomming the cake. I mean, she is a post-apocalyptic kid who never grew up going to birthday parties where you would have to wait to slice the cake. I mean, Fedra in Boston wasn't getting cakes. Joel shares his real present.
Some folks call this a guitar.
Joel makes the same joke about his Texas background in the game.
Some folks call this thing here a guitar.
This moment with Joel playing Future Days by Pearl Jam for Ellie is actually one of the very first things you see in the game part 2. But it's not Ellie's birthday in the game, it's kind of like a just cuz gift. And it's in Ellie's room, not here in the kitchen. But this episode really restructures this memory and a lot of memories as part of a string of Joel's birthday gifts for Ellie. Here, Joel says that he promised he would teach her, which we saw him do in season 1, and he sings the words of Pearl Jam's Future Days, which Ellie started to do years later in the theater last episode. And in that episode, I talked about that song and how its lyrics for Joel and Ellie, their interpretations of "if I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself," is a very extreme take on what it means to love someone. The shots of this scene show close-ups of Joel's fingers on the strings, and we do feel like we're getting kind of a tutorial, the way this opening part of the game makes you actually strum the correct chords of the guitar. Ellie looks at Joel playing with pure love in her eyes, similar to how Dina would later look at her in the record store. When he finishes the song, Ellie says that didn't suck, the way Ellie jokes in the game, but instead of Joel promising to start lessons the next day and remembering a corny joke, Joel in this scene says this interesting line.
I understand. Your
So there are a few ways we can look at this. On one level, Joel could just be doing a little bit better than his dad did when a kid messes up. But really, I think he might be telling Ellie, if you really got burned because you might have spiraled into a dark place and had like an instinct of self-harm, hey, I understand that too. Like, as Ellie will later reveal to Joel, the idea that she could be used to make a cure did give her life some purpose.
Yeah, she did say that was the only thing that gave her purpose.
Ellie might have pulled a Carmine looking into the kitchen fire moment from The Bear, right? And looked at the cordyceps bumps on her arm, looked at this hot pot, and just some part of her was like, what if I could just melt this? Now look, there is a very real and a very sensitive conversation when it comes to teenagers, bandages on their arms, self-harm. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I just thought it was very sweet of Joel to say, whatever this was, I understand. And the fact that Joel went to all this effort to fix up a guitar for Ellie's birthday and share this vulnerable moment with her reframes what we saw back in the season 2 premiere, with Joel unable to communicate with Ellie and seeing that guitar carelessly tossed aside, collecting dust, and he rushes over, offering to restring it, like trying to fix their relationship the only way he knew how, by reverting back to trying to be a father to her the way he could when things were simpler between them. Now we cut 1 year later to Joel leading Ellie through the woods it's for her 16th birthday, a sweet 16. In the game, you flash back to this memory when
I really
Ellie
love
plays
this
a bit
episode.
of
This
Future
is a
Days on
really
the
good
guitar in the
episode.
theater in Seattle, which we
Did
saw
such a
last
good job
episode, and Ellie
capturing
froze for a second. So we
all
can
of
assume that she was
the
thinking back to this
dynamic
day.
between
Now,
them
this is a
over the
memory that you
years.
flash back to with Joel
Even the way that
after
she
Joel gets
never
brutally
forgot.
murdered in the
You know,
first
like,
10% of the game.
her
So structuring it
questions.
this way in season 2 of the HBO show has the same nostalgic effect.
Like, especially cutting to her having all of those questions, like,
As Ellie does in the game, she guesses what,
if this happened, then how did this happen?
which makes it
I love
crazy that it
part.
actually is a dino. They also keep Ellie not knowing that kittens come in a litter.
Is it a litter of kittens?
A lotter? You mean a litter?
Now, I had thought in the game that Ellie just says a lot of kittens, and Joel misheard her as thinking that the word litter was lauder and corrects her on that, and both of them are kind of confused. But unlike in the game, Joel and Ellie don't push each other in the water. One, because if they did, the cassette tape that he gives her later would be wet. But also in TV shows, there's a special bonus rate that you have to pay actors if they are dripping wet in a scene. It's called a drip rate. It became a very big thing on the set of Lost. There's also
Crazy.
an added conversation here where Joel thinks
So
something's
much
going
shit
on with
goes into
Jesse and
movies and
Ellie.
shows that you never know about. Like a drip rate for people that are getting like soaked in a movie or a show. That's crazy.
I won't get pregnant if you let me train for patrols.
Yeah, Ellie knows she's gonna be able to keep this promise because she never plans to have sex with a dude. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this.
That's crazy.
BetterHelp member just and get careful as Ellie in the game for your first month of therapy. They find the T-Rex statue, and just as you can as Ellie in the game, Ellie here climbs up to the head of the statue, but in the game, the way you get off is by jumping into a pool of water surrounding it. Here's where we see the 2 seasons of Ellie's obsession with space travel paying off. When they were writing season 1, Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann had the benefit of part 2 of the game already being out, so they were able to add scenes to season 1, like Joel and Ellie talking about Sally ride, so that when Ellie sees those Fedra soldiers in the tank in Seattle, that she compares them to the NASA test pilots. It was just an interest years in the making. We sadly here don't get that much time of Joel and Ellie talking about the various dinosaur fossils and Joel only really knowing what he saw in the Jurassic Park films, but we do go straight into that curvy starscape tunnel that you go through in the game into the space exhibit with the same A Path Through the Stars wall and light up solar system mobile that you crank to spin. In the game, the planets stop at Neptune because in 2013 Pluto was no longer considered a planet, but here we see all 9 through Pluto because this world ended in 2003 where Pluto was still considered a planet at that point. They arrived at the Apollo 15 landing capsule from July to August 1971. This was the 4th landing on the moon and the first use of the lunar roving vehicle. The crew was David Scott, Alfred Worden, and James Irwin. Joel tells Ellie that she needs a helmet and gives her a rock to smash a case, and she grabs the Gemini helmet. Gemini was NASA's second space program after Mercury before Apollo, and Gemini saw 2 astronauts going to space together because Ellie considers herself part of a 2-person crew. They go inside the capsule, and this is one of the sweetest moments in the game. Joel gives Ellie her birthday present, a cassette tape recording of the Apollo 11 countdown audio from Mission Control. Apollo 11 was the first crew to land on the moon. Director Matt Shakman actually used this same exact audio to get together the very first concept trailer for Marvel's Fantastic Four First Steps, which also stars Pedro Pascal. As Ellie closes her eyes, the lighting on her face and her helmet and the outside background of the capsule shift to be the fire of the launch, with the capsule rumbling, followed by the quiet of space and the shifting light of the sun as this craft would rotate. Unbroken by Gustavo Santaolalla, the song from the game plays here, and it's just as beautiful. In the game, Ellie writes about this memory in her journal with a drawing of a space shuttle saying "one day," which is a sad but sweet
dope.
sentiment from a girl who was
Yo,
able to
somebody,
get one
let's
day
make
feeling
show.
like an astronaut on a planet where space travel is probably not going to be possible in her lifetime. As we cut back to Joel,
We're having a good one,
realizing
show.
that he
I'm hyped
could
too,
give a
for
daughter
real.
a perfect birthday, a tear has trickled from his eye. On their hike back, Ellie stops to look at something in the bushes.
You okay?
Yeah.
And what does Ellie see there? Fireflies. This perfect memory
Such
was
a
painted
dope-
by
yeah.
Ellie's nagging suspicion that Joel lied to her about what really happened with Marlene's group of Fireflies in Salt Lake City. So
And then it's always been nagging her ever since. I love that.
A chocolate cake, the flavor that Seth said would take longer, meaning Joel planned this ahead of time, and Ellie's name is spelled correctly. He thinks he's being a better dad. But then Joel hears Ellie and Kat giggling and barges in to find them putting their shirts back on. 2 years since we last saw Ellie's room, there's now more stuff on the walls. The Savage Starlight poster has been moved, and now there's a Nirvana poster with more drawings over her bed. String lights drape the room, a very 17-year-old girl thing. We also see a Thoughts 20 poster, which is a fictional band from the game. We see the Pearl Jam tour poster with Soundgarden. That was probably the 1992 Lollapalooza tour. We see a Weezer poster. We also see the poster from Radiohead's Creep. Now, this memory is not depicted in the game outright. It's kind of alluded to because we know Ellie did have a history with Kat in the game when she gave her the tattoo. But in the game, Joel did not suspect Ellie wasn't straight until he saw her with Dina at the dance. They added this. And since Kat led the patrol in season 2, episode 1 and gave that jealous look back at Ellie and Dina, we suspected a flashback scene with her would be coming. We see how Ellie got her moth tattoo on her arm to cover the area where the burn scar is and underneath where the cordyceps marks would be. This episode adds another chapter to their story to show Joel as an imperfect father, specifically someone who came from Texas when the world shut down in 2003 instead of 2013, and never lived that very important decade that saw the biggest shift in public opinion in favor of tolerance toward LGBT groups. So here, Joel ignorantly attributes this to just another teenage phase for Ellie.
Drugs and tattoos and sex, experimenting with girls.
It wasn't sex. And it wasn't a f***ing experiment.
Ellie makes it very clear to Joel that he clearly missed some signals about her orientation or chose to ignore them, and Joel again chooses to deny them.
You don't know what you're saying. We'll discuss this later when you're yourself.
And I'm not saying this to make excuses for Joel, but again, Joel with 2003 social values would be different from a Joel with 2013 social values, so he shouldn't be painted as like a perennial saint if not for what he did in Salt Lake City. Ellie plans to move into the garage, and Joel starts to echo his father, I assume by stating, "This is my house," to which Ellie shoots back that Jackson gave both of them this house, and he doesn't own anything. Yeah, dude, this is a communist community. Joel, who has come to respect Ellie, ultimately agrees, and he tells Ellie he'll fix it up for her. He asks Ellie what the moths mean to her, and she says she read about them in a book about dreams and how they're symbolic, and he thinks he knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, like change and growing and such.
Yeah, Joel's just trying to simplify this as a symbol of Ellie's changing sexuality. Again, getting it wrong. Ellie didn't change from straight to gay. She just realized what she always was. Joel finds Gail reading Earth Abides, a 1949 George R. Stewart sci-fi novel about a man named Ish who survives an outbreak that kills most of the world's population, and he starts to try to rebuild society, but one of his kids dies of typhoid, and as an old man, he realizes society will never be rebuilt as it was. This is kind of Joel's story with Ellie. He wants to have with her what he had with Sarah, but the world Ellie is growing up in is not the world that Sarah was born into. And when you give Catherine O'Hara a joke, you know she's gonna absolutely crush it.
Is there a doctor's in sign on me like Lucy from Peanuts?
I have to say this. There is an art and joke structure about where you place the word or for rhythmic purposes, and preceding the word peanuts, which is inherently a fun word, with is just the brilliance here. Is there a doctor is in sign on me like Lucy from Peanuts? And Gail says the dumb psychologists study dreams, but she corrects Joel, saying a moth doesn't represent change, butterflies do, but rather a moth represents death. For Ellie, it's connected to her existential dread over her life having no purpose, that she lived longer than she should have, that in a world doomed to be taken over by cordyceps fungus, she was cursed with immunity. In a room, later we do see her drawings of moths and the phrase, "You have a greater purpose." Back in Ellie's room, there is a sticker for a moon man playing a guitar, which kind of combines the first and the second birthday gifts we saw Joel give Ellie. The song playing in the scene is Longing by Gustavo Santaolalla from The Last of Us 2 game. She takes down her Savage Starlight poster and packs up her records, and of these records, we see Zamfir's The Lonely Shepherd record. This is the instrumental piece that's been used in a lot of media that you might know from Kill Bill Volume 1. The one that goes and then like guitar strums. So good. And this might be my favorite detail of the episode, because in September 2003, Kill Bill Volume 1 was just weeks away from releasing in theaters. It would have been in October 2003. Outbreak Day was September 26, 2003. But as someone who actually did own this soundtrack in 2003, as a teenage film nerd who had discovered Quentin Tarantino by watching IFC, the soundtrack actually released 2 weeks before the film did on, get this, September 23rd, 2003. 3 days before Outbreak Day. So it is possible for that soundtrack to have been frozen somewhere in malls and Sam Goodies, wherever. Someone raided some Best Buys that were left unattended and got that soundtrack and heard this great song. Yes, it had existed in other places, but I maintain that this would have been the most likely way that it got out there. And for Ellie to have picked up this record from a record store, somewhere people would have found Quentin Tarantino's eclectic mix of songs from the Volume 1 soundtrack, seen posters for this upcoming Kill Bill movie with Uma Thurman on the outside of cinemas, and wondered what the plot of that Pulp Fiction director's new big movie was gonna be, and had to guess from the soundtrack and the snippets of the movie audio that were on that soundtrack. And as a result, this Lonely Shepherd song would have been particularly popular. Look, I became who I am in the year 2003. I'm telling you, this show was made for me. So we are now 2 years later to Ellie's 19th birthday, months before the New Year's where this season began. Her garage bedroom now looks as it did at the start of the season. Ellie practices asking Joel some questions that would be nagging at her since Salt Lake City. The kind of refrigerator logic Craig Mazin has talked about on Script Notes, his screenwriting podcast that we brought up in Film Analysis when we start to realize plot holes after the fact. Ellie asks if the Fireflies spotted us a mile from the hospital, how did they get surprised by an entire group of raiders? 2, if the raiders could kill all those soldiers, and Marlene, and you had to carry me the whole time, how did you get away? Yeah, indeed, when you carry Ellie out of the hospital in part 1 of the game, you cannot use your gun, so you just have to avoid the Fireflies shooting in your direction. And 3, if there are dozens of immune people, why hasn't anyone heard of any others? 3 years after Ellie asked Joel about going on patrol with him on her Sweet 16, only now at 19 does he take her out on her first patrol. Joel stresses the importance of scanning with binoculars, and Ellie just goofs off, but she did do this when she was on patrol in season 2, episode 1. Radio dispatch says Eugene and Adam need backup. I assume it's Adam we see being dragged by his horse. They hike down the side of a cliff and they land on a soft patch of moss. The way the camera lingers, it kind of feels like some cordyceps tendrils might be down there. They find Eugene, Gail's husband, played by Joe Pantoliano, our man from The Matrix, The Sopranos, The Goonies, even the 2003 Daredevil, which also would have been in cinemas earlier in the year from Outbreak Day. We actually saw Joey Pants on this show already as Cypher on the Matrix poster in Ellie's room in the season premiere, which I love. Actually, when Eugene pulls his gun, Joel says,
You're empty.
which reminds me of this line from The Matrix.
You're empty. So are you.
Eugene tells him right away that he was bitten. He's not trying to be deceptive. He just asks if they'll bring him back to the gate so that he can say goodbye to Gail. Joel says no. Ellie tells Eugene to hold out his hand and count to 10, kind of like an infection DUI test that Ellie will do with Dina at the medical theater after Dina sees Ellie get bitten. Joel tells Ellie to get the horses and meet up with him later, and Ellie stops, recognizing the look and tone on Joel's face when he had lied to her from before. So she uses this moment to test, as he says.
No one understands me. If I actually told people how I'm feeling, they would think of me
Bro is out of
differently.
pocket for that
lie
for
that I
sure.
told myself.
I promise.
Eugene says the cordyceps makes him feel cold, which he didn't expect. And when Joel leads him to a beautiful Mountain View lake, Eugene realizes that this is a George and Lenny from Mice and Men situation.
That's just cold, bruh. Joel didn't have to do him like that. I ain't gonna lie. That's the thing that really had me messed up, bro. Because I was like, bro, you didn't have to do that. Rules are rules. I mean, yeah, rules are rules, but come on, like, bro, he did him dirty. He didn't have to do him like that.
Joel offers to pass along his last words, but Eugene says,
I need her last words for me.
this foreshadows what Joel will need from Ellie the night before he dies.
Her
Not
last
his last words for her,
me.
but what he needs her to say to him. The words, I'm
1
willing
minute
to try.
until
To hear
the
that
new
hope that she's
episode
willing to
of
forgive
The
him
Last of
before
Us
he
is
can finally let
released
go from this world.
on
Eugene wants Gail's
HBO
face to be the
Max.
last thing he sees,
I'm
and Joel
hyped.
says,
If you love someone, you can always see their face.
and you know for Joel, he's talking about Sarah in this moment. Joe Pantoliano does this beautiful shift in his eyes as his focus shifts from the distance to a point closer to him, and he says that he sees her, and pow, the bird's clear. They drag Eugene's body behind their horses, wrapped in a tarp
sad.
with a bloody spot seeping through, exactly how Joel's body will look when Ellie, Jesse, and Dina ride back from the lodge. And remember when Joel looked at that painting of the two horses in Gail's house in season 2, episode 1? He was remembering Ellie riding up and that look of betrayal on her face, and how that led to her telling Gail the information that would make Gail hate Joel forever. Joel initially tries to lie to Gail, saying that Eugene was
New episode is officially out on HBO Max. I hope you guys are ready, because I know I am. Okay, we're about to check it out right now. The season finale of... Wait. The Last of Us season 2 finale is up right now. Episode 7 is the last episode of this season, and we are about to check it out. I don't think we have a title for this episode yet, but on 3, we are going to press play and enjoy this episode together. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is Welcome to Deary. We're going to skip that, because I already checked out that trailer. It's a really good trailer. Make sure you guys go check out my trailer reaction to Welcome to Deary. It's up right now on the channel. Let's get it! Oh.
enjoy being a kid for now.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna give you one last chance. Tell me what happened with the fireflies.
Whew.
He killed everyone in that hospital.
What's about to go down, chat?
I know.
Unhinged. Let's go. It's go time for sure. Back to this dope ass intro. I absolutely love this intro, bro. Hopefully we get more seasons. I need all of the seasons until the show is done. You know what I'm saying? Because this is just fantastic. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get it. And the one mushroom stock again. Here we go. It's go time, ladies and gents. Oh, so we're kind of picking up from where we left off. Oh, shit. Oh, baby, this is gonna hurt. Oh! Oh, shit. I know that hurt. I know that hurt bad. Shimmer, I'm alone. Open the door. Ellie is a badass, yo. Oh, she knocked out, slumped. Took an arrow to the knee. Yo, what's up with the Beezy? Oh, my bad, y'all over there on the short side. I didn't have that chat turned on. Whoops. Let's lock that in real quick. There we go. Boom. Yo, what's up with the Just? What's up with the Beezy? Sorry to see y'all's comments, man. Tuned in right on time. Hope you had a great Sunday. Sad the finale is here already. I agree, Justo, bro. I am super sad to see this show go, but I'm so happy that we get to watch it leave. You feel me? Damn. She got beat the hell up. Sheesh. Turn. Remorse. Regret. Oh, her first kill. Oh, she's. Oh, shit. She's spilling the beans. I did not expect that. Sorry. Fact. Murdered him. Damn. Yeah, I guess she wouldn't be cool with like helping her get revenge on someone who was getting revenge. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Oh, so we're in Seattle. Yo, what's up with the retro? Rustin, hello from Russia. Hello from America. How you doing? Y'all ain't gonna tell him? It's his baby too. Oh. Oh shit. Bro's smart as shit. He's a terrible liar. I like him a lot. Oh man, I'm gonna hate when this nigga dies right now because he's definitely biting the dust before this episode is over. Chat. One in the chat if you think bro dies. Two in the chat if you think he survives. Oh, they painting murals for homegirl. Still the stupidest shit in the world to me that they're just moving through the middle of the streets. I guess they don't know people is just camped out in the high ground. Yeah. Oh, they weren't shooting at them. Oh, that's bruv. What? Facts. But not for you. I'm not dying out there for any of them, he says. He's definitely dying for one of them, though. Is that homegirl that killed her son? Bro is a fantastic actor. Give me movies to watch with him in it. Now. Now, chat! At once! Ooh. You? She was jelly. You know, I've never seen Hunger Games, broski. I didn't even know he was in those movies. That didn't turn out so good the last time. Ooh, the theme song. An I Spy with My Little Eye book. Ooh, that was awesome. I like that. Oh. Woo. Didn't abandon my family either. Ooh. Saint Jesse Wyo. I hope I get to see Jesse in something else, man. He's an awesome actor as well. Every actor in the show has been honestly insanely good. Hey, she got the That's very true. Did he vote against it? Oh shit! Oh. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Spit your shit! Said you let a kid die today because he's not a part of your community. Don't look at me like you're better than me. Oh, she was cooking. Oh, why are we watching Dina? Oh my god. Why are we watching these other people? Bro, she's psychopathic. Crazy to think that she got paid more for this episode because it's raining. Oh! Oh! Yo, they out there with boats galore. Oh, and they got hella people on them. What the hell are they doing? Why are they in Seattle? Why are they so ready to go to war? They're in boats and shit. They're loading up gear. Bro, she about to get in a goddamn rowboat. Oh. I thought it was a rowboat. Motorboat? It's still pretty wild that she's driving a motorboat into the storm darkness. Holy shit. Damn. Well. Yo. Oh, is that where they rode out to the village? Is that where the WLF rolled out to? Oh, she didn't even get to the place. Oh shit, that's crazy. Oh, snap. Jesse really did say he ain't my kid and dipped off of that dude, and then he was like, "Yo, I hope you find your way," and dipped. Like, bro does not play games. I like Jesse. That goddamn light, bro. I just don't understand how we sneak and turn lights on. It's raining hard as shit. Turn your light off, you dumbass motherfucker. This is bothering me so much. Oh, they tried to save somebody's life. And the blood is still wet. Like, what information is she gaining with the light on that she wouldn't be able to get with it off? I guess it is dark as shit behind her. See, look how she just a target. Jellyfish. Thank you. Yep, I found y'all, sons of bitches. I don't give a shit. Holy shit! Bro, do you know how terrifying that has to be? Shot that mother in the neck hole! Oh! Bro, they are not about to Game of Thrones us right now and force us to watch a baby being ripped out of the. Oh my god! What the fuck? my goodness! Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, what the hell? Oh my shit! How the balls is this? Brother! Ain't no way they about to end, bro. Ain't no way they about to end this damn episode. Traumatized. Again, bruh. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Stressed. Brother, I'm about to pass out. Hell no. I need to smoke. I'm I'm stressed the hell out. Again. Of course not, because Jesse's a good dude. She would 100% risk it all to come save you. On everything. On everything. Bruh. This shows. No! It's fucking Abby. Are we starting this over from her POV now? Whoa. They're camped out in the goddamn stadium. The Seahawks stadium. Don't say day one. This shit's in. That shit ended just now, didn't it? What in the actual hell and fuck? Holy shit. Oh my god! That was crazy. Did she just kill both of them? Did she just kill Jesse and bruh?
An intense fear of ending up alone. And it's that fear that I think motivates her to seek revenge and see that justice is done for anybody that she loves. But Joel is the epitome of that. He says to her on the porch, I hope that one day you do a little better than me. And she doesn't. She does worse.
Damn. Damn.
Ellie has finally revealed to Dina the truth about what Joel did, which has seemingly fractured her relationship with Dina, the person that she loves the most.
There was a Firefly base in Salt Lake City, and he killed everyone in the hospital.
I think she's having a similar experience to Ellie when Ellie first found out. I think it's a really cool mirror.
Ellie's gotten to a point where her emotions are scarily close to the surface, and she doesn't have the capacity emotionally to hide from Dina. There's maybe an element of self-sabotage there as well, because she exposes all of her darkness to Dina as a way of being like, surely you can't love me now.
I think it creates this deep void inside of Ellie. We think as an audience it's going to affect Ellie in her later decisions, but then we come to find that she was able to push all of that stuff aside. I think you're really questioning her motives and who she is, and if this is the person we want to be cheering for. Has she gone through too many life experiences that have kind of turned her into this monster, or is she able to push past that and become the better person?
How about we skip the apologies and just go find Tommy so I can get us and my kid the fuck out of Seattle?
My favorite thing to explore in 207 was really Ellie and Jesse's relationship. Jesse's always been one of my favorite characters, but because in the game we focus on the POV of the playable character, we never really got to explore Jesse to the degree that I think he deserves. We're getting to see that there's a maturity.
Jesse's high-key one of my favorite characters,
begging
yo.
Ellie to listen to him, to listen to his wisdom, to listen to how he chooses to love the people he loves. Much like Joel, he is willing to be violent. But unlike Ellie, it's not at any cost.
The way stories naturally move forward is through relationships. how relationships come together or how they fall apart and the conflict between them. Those different values will reveal more of who they are as they make their choices.
In the scene with the Seraphite boy getting tortured by the WLF soldiers, we see two very different sides of Ellie and Jesse. Jesse's in a completely different place. Jesse is fighting for his own life. He's fighting for Dina's life, for his child's life. And he knows, unfortunately, we have to let this boy go. And for Ellie, she's not capable of understanding that, because for her, she was the Seraphite boy. She was the kid that Joel saved.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't want to get involved because that's them. This isn't our war.
Damn.
Ellie points out to Jesse, in a crucial moment, that this concept of community is the problem.
Let me tell you about my community. My community was beaten to death in front of me while I was forced to fucking watch.
What Ellie had was Joel, and he was killed. That's who she cares about. And the idea that Jesse thinks he's special or better because he cares about his community is the problem.
Yeah.
But of course,
I
all
agree.
that is said in justification of her doing something incredibly selfish.
Exactly. So it's
Jesse
like
and abandoning Tommy to go find Abby.
And in turn making
When I first read the script, I got
worst
to all of
decision
the
ever.
water work. When you're breaking down a script, everything goes just through your
Oh!
mind. Like, are we gonna do it practically? Are we gonna do it in a tank? Are we gonna do it in a dry gimbal? Let me tell you, we did it all.
We had a practical location that we shot the first half of when Ellie sees the soldiers and when she finds a John boat. We had a dry gimbal for Ellie when she's on the boat. And then we also had a water tank.
Suddenly, we're now working with an aquatic team. And so we're putting, everything on barges, lights and cameras, generators, everything has to be able to float to get it where you want to get it.
We've been so lucky on the show because much of the cast is very agile and they're athletic.
Bella Ramsey is such a trooper. Bella is literally sopping wet in this whole entire episode.
Literally,
so on
yeah.
top of being in boats that are flipping over and going through all of these emotions, every single take, Bella comes with this amazing determination.
We shot at night, me crawling out of the ocean, and with a heavy wetsuit that was getting waterlogged. It was such hard work, but in a way that felt really satisfying.
Damn. That's
So originally in the
crazy.
game, something most people don't know is that we were going to do an entire sequence with Ellie landing on Scar Island. So it was really exciting to get an opportunity to film that again.
We just get to see how chilling it is to be surrounded by everybody that's trying to exact violence, including children that have been taught to hate people outside of their group.
These were the very people that she was trying to defend earlier when the very same thing was happening to one of their kids.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with people who have lost any sense of similarity of sin. What we do is justified. What you do is evil.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful. I'm not gonna lie.
The entire universe is telling her, you will die if you keep coming after her. Let Abby go.
Yeah, I was about to say
Every
that.
reason to turn back.
Literally, when
Even
she gets
our
in the
most
water, it's like,
vengeful
yo.
characters, at a certain point go, I know this isn't good enough, but we have to go home. And Ellie can't.
You just
When
can't
this
do it.
attack is happening somewhere else on this island by Isaac and his crew, it gives Ellie the opening to run away. And what does she do next? She still goes
Turns
after Abby.
around and doubles down.
Ellie doesn't find Abby in the aquarium, but she finds Owen and Mel. And there is a confrontation there. Owen dies, and Mel accidentally dies.
Yeah.
There's always a cost to this violence, and sometimes it's an internal cost, but sometimes there's a term that it sounds so cold, which is collateral damage. You know, there's a metaphor here for a lot of violence in the world. What's a metaphor for this collateral damage? It was like, well, that's when innocent people die. Now, Ellie, up until this point, can probably justify everything that she's done. Everybody she killed has been bad. You can't justify killing a child.
That scene in the game is also incredibly brutal and incredibly violent.
Oh,
and that's
damn, even that's in the
because
game?
we want to show Ellie how far she has fallen. The scene became even more violent when Craig called up and was like, but what if she asks Ellie to cut the baby out of her?
We're gonna take it out. I don't know how to do that. I do.
Even as Mel is trying to give her the instructions on how to save this child, Ellie isn't skilled enough to do it.
Brother.
This is where Ellie finally feels like she maybe has lost any sense of who she is and who she's supposed to be.
Brother!
In Mel's desperation to protect her own baby, not only do we see Dina, but we also see a selflessness that Ellie is not capable of. This needs to be gut-wrenching, not just for Ellie, but for Jesse and for Tommy. It needs to be so brutal that it is the wake-up call Ellie needs. And yet it isn't.
At some point, who's gonna break the wheel? Which is the essence of our entire story. There's a cycle and there's a wheel of violence and revenge, and who's gonna choose forgiveness and to turn away from it?
This fire Ellie has in her, in some ways, is endearing because she would light the world on fire for her loved ones, but then who's in that flame, who's burning on the other side, it starts to get so gray. Like, who's the villain? Who's the hero? Is there such a thing? Does that exist in this world?
Ellie has a moment with Jesse.
I need more
that
Jesse.
I think was really important for
He's
us to see.
awesome.
It's forgiveness.
If I were out there somewhere, lost and in trouble, you would set the world on fire to save me.
Hell yeah.
What Ellie's confronting is the fundamental injustice of life.
I think as an audience, we want karmic justice to say the bad people should pay the price for what they've done.
Did bro
and
get
good
shot
people
in
should
the
live
face?
happily ever after. But that's not how the world operates. And
Damn.
the most moral character of this story, Jesse, dies in an instant.
There is a tragedy to the fact
Rah.
that his selflessness, and so many characters' selflessness, is the reason that they end up falling.
I know why you killed Joel. He did what he did to save me. I'm the one that you want.
For Ellie, if we thought she was broken before, now she's completely
It's over.
broken.
Yeah, like,
And if Joel is
there's
gone,
no coming back.
and Jesse's gone, what does she have left? She has this realization, finally, if I give myself up, then maybe Tommy and Dina will be able to live. And I think
my life
Ellie
will have
needed
a
that
purpose.
redemption.
Ellie is looking at herself. Ellie is looking at Abby and seeing the rage and the pain of you took somebody I loved. And there is this full circle moment. But now it's too late and Ellie has to reap what she's sown.
Right when you expect these two characters to finally confront each other,
I let you live,
we cut to black.
and you wasted it.
And we've been using this device when we're in Seattle of day 1, day 2, day 3.
Man, I was wondering why. I was like, no way they're about to give us day one.
How massive the WLF presence here is in Seattle.
Yeah.
And we end on Seattle day 1 as we set up Abby's journey of what happened on those 3 days and why she has done what she's done, how she's dealt with someone hunting her and her people.
We're used to telling good guy, bad guy stories in Hollywood. What we try and do with The Last of Us is tell people stories.
Hell
And
yeah.
in this case, everybody, no matter which side they're on, has
Has
a
a
strong
story.
case to be very
Yeah.
angry at someone.
At
And that anger
somebody.
comes out as violence, it comes out as retribution, it comes out as lies. And the question is, where does it all end? Can it end? And if so, how?
Oh my God. What a banger ending to the season. I'm not going to lie. Hey, chat, let me know how you felt about it in the comment section down below. Drop a 1 in the chat if you liked this ending to The Last of Us Season 2. Drop a 2 in the chat if you did not like this ending for The Last of Us Season 2. Let me know all of your thoughts, theories, and questions that you might have with the end of this season because man, I'm in shock and awe, and I am so excited to dive deeper into everything that is this because holy moly, oh, it is just too good. Did you enjoy the season 2 finale for The Last of Us? Let me know in the comments how you guys are feeling about that, because damn, I definitely enjoyed it. That was gut-wrenching, heartbreaking, and everything else in between. I did not know that they were going to be tugging at the heartstrings in the way that they did. Bro, the way that they just kill off characters in an instant, it reminds me so much of like The Walking Dead, even Game of Thrones, to where everyone is up for grabs, right? Like, I thought Jesse was going to steal the show in season 3. I was even thinking that maybe the show would start to be about him if Abby died or something. Ellie, if Ellie died or something. It's like, damn, like, wow. You know, when as someone who has not played the video game at all, this was one hell of a way to just dive into this season. Bro, the ending, the beginning, the second, like, this season was awesome. This might be one of my favorite seasons of just shows, like, for real. This is gonna go up there. Joel dying in the second episode is, for me, as someone who's never played the games, it's definitely up there with what happened, like losing our main character in Game of Thrones season 1. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think that he's about to die, and then boom, off with his head, right? Like, it's that type of vibe that it gives you with just being so abrupt and like switching, like just definitely switching the POV of what you expected to happen, and flipping everything else on top of its head. And that's what I feel like happened a lot in this season as well. I mean, just seeing the arc that Ellie has went through throughout the duration of this season, it's definitely allowed things to be brought into perspective for even all these other characters. Like they said in the end here, it's like every person has a story, and every person has a valid reason to be angry, to hate, to want to kill someone else. And it's all about discovering what that reason is for all of these people, because at the end of the day, everyone is just everyone is a person. Everyone is just a human being trying to enact whatever they think is right and however they see to do that. And it's really, really just, yeah, bro, it's gut punching to see that, yo. And to force us to end on that cut to black of the gunshot and Ellie seemingly being murdered, and then having to restart these days that she's been in Seattle, but now from the POV of Abby, who has also just been trying to do whatever she can to survive, to stay alive, or just to protect the people that she loves. And she clearly is just as driven, or, well, obviously we know she's driven because she already found Joel and did him dirty, but to see that she immediately followed them back to the place that they were staying at, and then she starts popping off immediately. Like, that is crazy to see, literally. And for her to just be like, yo, I saved you and you came back anyway. And then Ellie just to be staring her down, like, just to see them facing off. Yeah, bro, I just didn't expect it. I didn't expect Ellie to give up her gun so easily either. I thought she would have, like, tried to shoot her or anything, but it's like she was faced with her mistakes immediately after she was already trying to somehow deal with it, and she couldn't. And it's like, oh shit. Oh shit, this is about to go down. and down it goes. I'm hoping that Dina does come through with like a save the day last minute shot. It's crazy that we actually have to wait until next season to figure out what's gonna happen next. Yo, 3 seasons, and they've literally split this up in such a good manner. I love it, yo. I love this show. I love Last of Us Season 3. Episode 7 was a great way to end this season. I can't lie. Let me know how you guys are feeling about it in the comment section down below. Wow, bruh. Moral of the story, learn to let it go, cause bruh. Yo, crazy. Can't believe bruh's dead. I can't believe bro is dead. Like, I am astonished that Jesse is gone, bro. Shot in the head in an instant. I need more of that character, bro. That character, I need to see more of Jesse, of Young. I believe his name was Young. Yeah, his name is Young Mazzino. Oh, bro is in Beef. I haven't seen Beef. I've heard really good things about Beef. I'm definitely going to check it out now. Now that I know that he's in it, I'm for sure watching it. I'm definitely going to watch that today. Hell yeah. Think about how all of this is on Ellie's shoulders, bro. Yeah, that's true. Because if Ellie would have never, ever went and would have just let it be bygones, but she's so driven by rage, hate, and anger, she can't let it go. And it's like, can you just let go that you saw your dad get murdered in front of you? I mean, that's a pretty big thing to ask someone to do. But also, you know, not to be that person, but if Jesse would have just, you know, been like, yeah, for sure, you know, like if he would have voted yes, then, you know what I'm saying? They would have had a whole team out there and maybe things would have went. I mean, I guess to be fair, though, there's a whole literal army. But at least it wouldn't have been such a 1v1 for everything. Maybe they would have died sooner, actually. Who knows? But it was really, yeah, bro. They robbed us. They robbed us, but it's okay, though. Like, they robbed us emotionally. You know what I mean? We've been emotionally robbed, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and forced into this. Like, I was forced into this thought process of everything's going to be all right. You know what I mean? Like, well, not everything's going to be all right, but they made it back to their safe zone. It's been safe this whole time. Like, and then boom, Abby is just there. And it's gonna be crazy next season to see how she even got there, though. Like, that's gonna be wild to see. Yeah, I'm hype. I'm hype. Right when Ellie starts to figure out she should probably chill. It all catches up to her. You reap what you sow. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes you don't, you know, sometimes you just don't get to make up for it. Sometimes that shit comes a knocking way sooner than you hoped, because you was hoping for something else. But that's just, damn, bro. Damn, bro. She really got, yo, and I have no idea what's going on outside of the show as a book reader, so it's just like damn, bruh. I am at a loss. I'm almost in disbelief at what has occurred. Because on one hand, it's like, damn. Damn, bro. That's just crazy, brother. That's just crazy, Beezy. I'm just at a loss, bro. I'm at a loss. I had no idea they was gonna do us like that again. You know? It's like, bro, how many times do we have to go through this? Bruh. They can't keep getting away with this. Because, brother, oh, yes, Jesse was the North Star. His wisdom, his insight. He brought, yeah, bro, that's just so sad, brother. She had no, everybody just, she was trying. She's like, no, it's me, I'm sorry. You know, like, bro, but it's too late. She's like, I let you live. I let you live and you wasted your life. Congratulations. Bah! Like, Abby is a straight up gangster, yo. I know a lot of people online have been saying, like, the actors for Abby and Ellie should be switched. But I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like they fit really well. Especially when we wake up with Abby at the end of this episode. It's like her demeanor and the ways that she's acting. I feel like it's just, I don't know how Abby is supposed to be from the games as well, but I just think from the show standpoint, from the acting standpoint, I think that they have hit the nail on the head with every single casting. Like every single one of them. Oh. Bruh, I'm crushed. They've crushed me. Bro, what have they done? What have they done? Because this is crazy. I have no idea where do we go from here. Like I know they're saying that the next season is gonna be about Abby and seeing what, you know, how she got to where she was and having to deal with being hunted and all of that, but it still doesn't, you know, it doesn't make it, bruh. Bruh. I'm shooketh. I'm shooketh at what they have just showed us, what they have just done to us, what they have just forced upon us. It's just like, god damn, bruh. I don't think we deserve this. Ah, that was a fantastic episode. That was a fantastic season finale, chat. I hope you guys appreciate it because I know I did. I can't wait to check out season 3. I can't wait to check out season 3 of The Last of Us because this was a banger-ranger-roo of a show. And I need so much more. And with all that being said, make sure you guys like the video if you like the video because it helps out tremendously around these parts. You can also follow me on social media at Sensei Finito to save the day with all my thoughts, theories, and opinions on a particular thing at a particular time. Or you can follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to save the day with all things nerdy and everything pop culture. We're always posting the latest movie reviews, nerdy news, and everything else in between. So I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming out and vibing out with your boy today. This finale was crazy. We're gonna have to talk about it more, and I just can't wait. I hope all you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. As I always say, stay awesome, stay nerdy. And don't forget to say Marvelous. I'm out of here. So,
If you guys would like to support Mark Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.markbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan. Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.
On today's pop culture news update.